This is the Super Sock Calculator videos, and this is part 2, starting at the toe. So we've divided our yarn into two balls of the same size, and we start with one of the balls and we make a slip knot. So we have our circular needles here, and we want to take the slip knot and put it on the backmost needle. So now we have the tail end of the yarn to the back. This is going over our pointer finger, and the yarn end is going over our thumb. So the tail end comes under and over into the middle. The yarn end goes over the back needle, over in the middle. Tail end over the front needle, over in the middle. And just continue like this, making the cast on stitches. We'll continue until we have 8 on each, because 8 is the number that we got previously from the calculator. So we want 8 stitches on each needle. I found a smarter way of starting Judy's magic cast on for toe up socks. So instead of doing the slip knot, we simply just put the yarn over the needle with the tail end in the back, and then we just do the same thing as before. So now that we have this cast on, we pull the needle through, and then we start knitting one side of the cast on, and only the first one side of the cast on stitches do we knit now. Because then we can push this toe down to one end and continue with the next toe. So now we have one toe, we push it down to one end, and we do the second toe cast on. And here we have to be careful to have the needles in the same way, with the same one in front and the same one in the back as we had previously. Otherwise the magic loop won't work. So we do the slip knot, or we do the simply putting on the yarn over the needle, as I showed you before, and we cast on again with Judy's magic cast on for toe up socks. 8 stitches on each needle. So now as soon as we have 8, we pull the back needle through, and then we knit these 8 off the first needle here, off the front needle. And once we've knit these, we have actually made started off with 2 socks. So start off with 2 toes. We push the needles around, and this is the trick to the magic loop, simply pushing the toes around the needles. Now we're going to start with the first round of the toe. So we want to knit the first row of the first round through the back loop. It's only this row that is our backmost row of the cast on that needs to be knit through the back loop. So push the needles through so we can get to the next row in this round. And this row we simply knit normally, and every other row after this we knit normally. This is why I've speeded it up a bit, because otherwise it would get a bit boring and long. So now we're pushing the needles through again so we can get to work on the first round of the second toe. Again, we're knitting this first row through the back loop. Get a bit fast. Yeah. And pulling the needles through again. In the beginning, this pulling the needles through can be a bit tricky, but once you get a hang of it, it's quite fast. So this row again we do normally. And now we're doing the first toe and the first increase round. So we knit the first stitch, the first outer stitch, and then we do a knit through front and back loop to do an increase. And this here you can see that the increase stitch kind of sits as the third stitch in. And this is why we knit down till we have 3 stitches, because we want to do the knit through front and back loop in the third stitch, so that the increase stitch sits as a third stitch in from this side too. As you can see, there it is. So basically increase every second round. Now you can see I've done quite a few increases. Every second round increase, every second round just knit. And as you get going and you get more and more knitted, the whole magic loop thing of pushing the needle through becomes a lot easier. So here we have 3 left, and we do the knit through front and back loop. And we turn the whole thing around. And pull the needles through. So we basically continue this until we have 20 stitches on each side of the toe. So count these to be sure. And when we have this, we don't do any more increases. So from here on, we simply just knit round and round and round until we've knit till the 11.6 centimeters from the tip of the toe, that the calculator told us to do for these socks. Then we can go and look at the third video afterwards and see how we turn the heel.